therein. Again, Heavenly Father, we appreciate the moisture and for the things that we look forward to with growing, that the farmers will be able to have the weather that they need to be able to feed us and keep our food at a price that people can afford. Again, we ask these favors and blessings, knowing that all these things come from Thee. We say these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Scott. Did you guys get a chance to look over the minutes from February 5th?
Yeah, I would make a motion that we approve the minutes from February 5th, 2020.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Do you have any administrative review reports or anything? Future agenda items?
I was just going to talk a little bit about the recovery suite that we approved here a couple weeks ago for the county and all their employees. If you haven't been able to take advantage of that service yet, go online and find out. It's a pretty neat project. We've had a couple more suicides in the area, and honestly, it's a less expensive way to have some contact with those type of professionals, and I think it'd be awesome. We signed up my family, the rest of the family last night on those things, and it was really interesting, 20 minutes worth of my time. Of course, I got off of Facebook for a little bit to dive into it a little bit, and it just gives you a better hope of that there's things out there than what everything's happening. So my advice to you would be take advantage of it and see what you can do and make sure your family members are on it, because you just never know. I don't know how many of you know about the reporter from Channel 5 whose husband committed suicide on her birthday, but there was no signs, there was nothing going on that they could actually look at and see that this was coming. So I think if we can promote some of these things to help the wellness of, I don't want to call it mental illness, but the stresses of the communities and the things that are going on with family, I think it's a better way. And I know that in my personal family, it's tough to pay $115 a visit 4 times a week when you're trying to get some of those helps, and where they have gave us a break for this for our employees and stuff. It's only $3 a month for employees and their families, so it'll at least get you in the door, and then you can find help from there. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that. So appreciate that.
Oh, that's great. Thanks. You got anything, Commissioner?
I don't.
Okay. Okay, then it looks like we're on to our first item here, forgiveness of rollback taxes with Mike Olson. I think in our discussion, we've had Steve looking into a couple of our options. We've talked with Rod. Pretty limited on what options we do have.
I think I just brought up another option that we hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
If we talk about some of the things where we're in charge of all the taxes, and if we do a rollback, then that affects all the other taxing entities. I was just wondering about if they're willing to go to the other taxing entities and put their case forward, and if they actually gave us permission to be able to do that instead of us just looking towards that, for the plain fact that our portion is only 25% of that you've already paid. So I do think it's a steep penalty to think about that over a couple of weeks. And I know that they contacted you, and I know you broke your leg during the thing, and I just, like I said, I'd like to see if there's something else we can do to make sure that that doesn't affect you in an adverse way. So
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, we'd like to be able to help out, but at the same time, we've got to protect the county's side of it as well. And if we just completely forgive it, then we leave the county exposed. Do you have any comments, Commissioner?
No, pretty much the same thing as last time. I don't have any problem forgiving it at all. My only concern is if it were sold anytime within the next 5 years, it absolves the property owner of paying the greenbelt rollback. That's the only issue that I have. And if it were just us, I mean, it would be one thing, but, again, we collect and then we remit to the other tax entities, and so we'd be basically making a decision that would affect all the other tax entities as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there were some mechanism that we could put in place that would say, hey, if this does get sold within 5 years, it reverts back. But I don't know how we would accomplish that.
Well, and talking with Steve, I wish you were here, but he did mention the possibility of looking in. He said, I don't know, if this would work the best, but a deferral. But he said that then you guys would run the risk of, if we did a deferral, in 5 years, there may be a completely different set of commissioners that in 5 years, when they did come time to forgive, say, no, we're not going to do that. And that's completely out of our control.
But if you're willing to take that chance, I honestly wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow, let alone 5 years from now, so I can only do the effect of what I can affect today and then worry about the future in the future, but that would be my stipulation. If that's the only thing we can do, I'm okay with doing that, and then I hate to say roll the dice for 5 years, but
Well, I think, and I don't, you're welcome to come up and speak or say anything if you'd like to, Mike, add any more to it.
is there a chair? We didn't want to make you stand.
Give just a little background
Oh,
of the situation.
okay, yeah, do you mind just giving us the brief Reader's Digest version of what's gone on, just for the record,
Yeah, sure.
and state your name?
Michael Olson is my name. And so we own 2 parcels on the north end of town. One's 4.78 acres, one's 6 acres. And one of them has a little house on it that we were renting out, so we changed it to be in an LLC, thinking that that would lower our risk, and then didn't realize that that would affect property taxes. So we did that in April, and then realized that we were going to have to pay, that would not qualify for greenbelt status, I guess. And so then we put it back in. I guess we missed the deadline. We put it back in the same name on November 5th, I believe. So it still technically, I guess, qualifies for a green belt. It meets all the other requirements, but we just missed that deadline.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, and if, I wish it were as simple as just reversing everything, but like I say, because that deadline's passed, now it kind of locks us into the state statute, and where we basically have to either forgive and have the exposure of, like Commissioner Scott said, of having you possibly sell it and we lose out on that rollback, or we don't. I don't know about you guys. I don't want to keep kicking this down the road, but I would like to.
Well, without Steve here, and if he says that that's our only problem,
I'd like to look at that just as a final option on the deferral, and if legally, if we can do that, and Steve's comfortable with it, and we can make it work, and you guys are okay with that, it's really, I think, our only option.
I don't really understand what deferral means. It means we pay it now and then try to get it back 5 years from now?
I believe what we do is we refund the portion that you've paid,
Right.
and then basically we defer those taxes for 5 years until the rollback comes back completely on. Then we're protected. Then you could come to the commission and say, I'd like this to be forgiven because we've deferred it. And then they defer it, but then if you sell, then no, we're not exposed as far as losing out on the rollback. Does that make sense?
no.
Not really.
I could see in his eyes.
So,
These guys are the financial minds. If I say it, it'll be, so.
but that's, if we leave it right now and we forgive it, and then, I mean, that's like Commissioner Scott said, I feel the same way. if for whatever reason you guys decided to sell in 2 or 3 years, and you maybe probably don't, I don't know, have any intention of doing that, but it leaves us exposed because then that rollback's completely gone.
Yeah, I understand that there's that potential. I just don't
Yeah.
understand what you mean by the deferral and what approval we'd have to get from commissioners 5 years from now.
What it would basically do is the amount that you'd paid already in rollback, it would in essence be refunded to you.
Like today or,
Uh-huh.
or you know,
Yeah.
now, basically.
And then what would happen is if, and then it would be deferred for 5 years. And so it would come back, you would have to pay that in 5 years. And at that point, you would basically have to come into the commission again and say, hey, this is what took place. We haven't sold it. It's still in Greenbelt. Let's go ahead and remove it. And the one potential issue that you would have there, like's been mentioned, we may not be here. It may be 3 completely separate, different commissioners that have no knowledge of the situation, and so they're just going off of, old minutes. And they wouldn't be under any obligation to follow through on that technically. But that's one of the few options I see right now that would allow it to go, in essence, back into a situation where you don't have the taxes on it. It's kind of where it was, and still protect the county in the future just in case you did sell it.
So under that scenario, though, isn't there like an increased tax rate if it's not in Greenbelt? So every year from now until 5 years from now, we'd be paying the higher tax rate, or that's what I'm kind of confused about.
I don't think so.
No, because you've already
back
got
in
it
Greenbelt,
re-registered
yeah.
in there right now. So
I guess I'm not confused then why we would need to talk to the commissioners 5 years from now if it's already in Greenbelt now and we get our money back.
because we would in
now.
essence be forgiving it right now,
Yeah,
and that just protects the county just in case you did sell it anytime in the next 5 years, so that the rollback would take effect. And so it would be kind of a combination of, the way I understand it, forgiveness and a deferral. Or a refund and a deferral.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there's another option, I'd certainly be open to it, but that's the only concern that I have, is if the property were sold in the next 5 years.
So in other words, they're saying, do you want to kick it down the road 2 more weeks until we come back and let Steve finish taking it?
yeah, I think that's probably the thing to do.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't
But
like
that's
to
just
drag things
another
out any
option.
longer than we
No.
need to, but I.
And if you just want us to leave us your cell number,
Make
you don't
sure
have
this
to
is
come, and
right.
we'll just call you and let you know in 2 weeks.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mike.
Thanks, you guys.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that we already tabled it. We need to table it again.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion that we table the forgiveness of taxes on the personal property for, or on the parcel 030810018 for the Olsons.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Looks like our 1140 has been taken off. So we'll move over here to, is Julie here? Do you want to come on up and state your name into the microphone and tell us why you're here?
Yeah.
We kind of squished them together, sorry.
I didn't bring my cane.
Oh,
Oh,
I should have.
yeah.
My name is Julie Quinlan. Is it going in okay?
Yeah.
And I'm here to ask for forgiveness of penalties and interest on my property taxes.
Okay.
So,
Kind of give us a little background or explain the circumstances on
Okay.
why.
so the biggest reason that I asked for this is because my property taxes and the notice, this is the first time I've missed paying my property taxes, is that, here's exhibit number 1, is that they send the property taxes to my daughter's house. They don't send them to me. And we did live with her for 2 years, But that was 3 years ago. And I'm pretty sure every time I came in, I know at least one time, I know Tammy's changed it now. When I finally got this, I came in and she changed it. But I know I told them that the notices were going to the wrong house. Secondly, so do you want to see this?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, so secondly, one of the reasons my daughter did not give me the notice that I had missed was that she got really ill. She had influenza B, strep throat, and a strep ear infection. And I don't have the IVs. We had to take her to the hospital a couple of times. Well, hospital once, urgent care 3 or 4 times, a doctor 3 times. And this is her diagnosis. It says stay home for the next 3 to 5 days. Yeah, that was 3 to 5 weeks. So that's, the first time I heard about this coming was the last weekend in January when the penalties had already, it was too late, they'd already tripled. And then a little bit about me. So I'm retirement age. I have not been paying bills my whole life. My husband was diagnosed with hydrocephalic dementia, and in 2013, he had surgery for that on my birthday, actually, and we moved here in 2014. We moved in with my daughter, and I've been trying to pay the bills ever since. One of the issues we have is my daughter has been very sick with a pregnancy, pneumonia, she has celiac disease, and she was hit by a truck 2.5 years ago. So we are her primary caregivers. We came here thinking she was going to help us. So we help her. Anyway, so that's, I'm doing really well because I had these all filed. I'm putting together a filing cabinet. I had all my papers together. So I'm doing better. My goal this year is not to pay any late fees. Anyway, so that's basically my little spiel.
So you're able to pay the taxes when?
I paid them, and I paid the penalty.
Paid the penalty.
As soon as I found out that I had forgotten, I came in the 1st of February, which the penalties had already quadrupled. It went from $15 to about $50 in penalties and interest.
So the total amount in penalties and interest was 50?
It was about, yeah, let me, I have this here. And I have actually put a picture on Facebook of my file cabinet. It's all color-coded. So,
Bill, can you shut the door? Thanks.
yeah, it's $50.68 was the penalties and interest.
Okay. Sean, do you have anything that you want to comment or add to this? I mean, Sean's the one that basically does all the collecting. Do you have any comments or anything?
No.
Okay. Do you guys have anything?
I just understand that those things happen and stuff, and if this is your first and only time, I would make a motion that we forgive the $50 and say thank you. I'm sorry for your things.
Thank you.
And do you have the address changed, and all correspondence is coming to your residence now in your name?
When I paid this in February, Tammy in the office did change it.
Okay.
Yeah, I did say, when we had come in before, we'd say, oh, my bills are going to the wrong address. But I didn't physically say, please change the address, but we did say they were going to the wrong one.
Okay.
And I think it just got overlooked for 3 years.
Okay. All right. on an amount that size and where you've already paid it, I don't necessarily have a problem with the tax or the penalty and the interest on that. So I would second that motion.
Okay.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
Do they send a check or what do I do?
Have you visit with Sean back in the
These
treasurer's
guys
office.
just standing
so,
up.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank
get
you.
you taken
Thanks.
care of.
Go get your cane.
Good luck. Okay. Looks like Sarah Martin.
We need to move a couple of them chairs.
Yeah, okay. Paul, you want to grab another chair there? Or you got a chair there? Okay,
Oh.
yeah. You can just,
Put the microphone so we know who's, we know Paul, but he still has to say who he is.
That's my bodyguard, Paul Larson. I'm Sarah Jane Martin, and we are here just asking for the use of the green space between the city building and this building for our Arts Festival on June 13th of this year.
Cool. It's a great festival.
Thank you.
okay. And I assume that Cody and everybody's approved it as far as there's no problems or,
We try to coordinate every year closely with Cody. to
Okay.
Make sure he's aware of what we're looking at.
Yeah.
We don't anticipate that we would need anything in front of the courthouse, but,
Just the side.
but we probably ask that, just in case, between now and June, the details all come together, and in case we need to put a canopy over there or something, then ask for that as well.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing.
And to make sure that we don't have the sprinklers.
Sprinklers on?
Yeah.
You mean-
I think
year
that
ago.
just makes it more interesting personally.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything else competing with the use of the grounds during that time, so
okay.
cool. All right.
Appreciate all your hard work.
Yeah, I'd make a motion that we approve the use of the county grounds June 13th. Is it? It's just a one day? Okay. Yep, for the Arts Festival.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you in June.
Okay, it looks like we've got David Rawson. You're up. Come on up. If you'll just state your name in the microphone and tell us why you're here.
David Rawson from Recycled Earth, and we're here getting a contract with the county.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I had a chance to visit with the folks at Allos, and there was one minor revision in the contract. Did you get that sent over, Steve? It was just sent over today, so you probably haven't seen it yet where you were in court.
I looked at the one from there was one last night. So there's a change since last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, just this morning.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet then.
The only thing that this changed was it specifically referenced the types of waste that could come in. The original one was more of a boilerplate, and so it referenced, potentially any kind of waste. But this is strictly the waste that would be permitted at their facility. And so nothing that's not permitted there would be in the contract.
Okay.
And so that was the one difference.
Okay.
So,
And Exhibit A is still not completed yet, right?
Yeah.
yeah. So did you have any questions or concerns as you reviewed the rest of it?
No, I think we worked those out last night. So.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
seeing none, I just make a motion that we approve the contract with Recycled Earth pending Steve's review of the final contract.
Okay. You're talking about the amended one that was sent over this
Yes.
morning? Okay.
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye. Thanks, bud.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks for coming up to Box Elder. Make sure he gets you someplace to eat before you leave.
Looks like we got the bookmobile contract. You taking care of that one?
I don't know. He never
I don't see Brad, so.
called me, but
That's.
which contract is
same
it?
contract
This is,
as with Cassia.
Cassia
Oh,
County.
Cache County? Yeah, it's just the same one we've had the last couple of years. It hasn't changed at all,
Nothing's-
so
Okay.
I think I don't even know if the amount changed.
I didn't actually. So,
Okay, I'll
if you
entertain
had
a
a-
motion then.
if you had a chance to look at that, okay.
It's great.
I make a motion that we approve the bookmobile contract with Cache County. It's 20-07.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
I did have an opportunity to get a phone call from somebody that was in that arena out there, and they just said how much they appreciated that bookmobile coming out there, and their kids check out 30 to 60 books every time they come, so that's good.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. Okay, Tom, you're up.
What this is for is that the county is looking at possibly leasing vehicles with horsepower. They hold the state contract. This doesn't mean that we will lease with them, but as part of it, I need to be a designated signing agent for Box Elder County. And this resolution just makes it that I can enter into agreements with horsepower to lease those vehicles.
That's great.
Is this similar to the one that we looked at?
Yeah, a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've had discussions with multiple departments, the sheriff's office, the different motor pools, and looking at different solutions, if it would work, if what won't work, and so this just allows me, if we do decide,
So it's not requiring you to, it
Nope.
just gives you the option.
it just lets me sign the agreement with them.
Okay.
Thanks for keeping us up on that too, because that was some good information even the last time you sent us. And then we've been trying to do that for 5 years, 6 years.
Then if I remember right, you can structure the different leases depending on which department and which vehicle.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that was cool, so, okay, sounds good. I would make a motion that we approve resolution 20-01.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, looks like we're up to Sheriff.
Kevin Potter, Sheriff. We all kind of got contacted when this UNT County did their ordinance on supporting the Second Amendment. Asked me to look at some language that the Sheriff's Office would be comfortable with, and Steve Hadfield and I did, and so we found one that we're comfortable with. It's a resolution, not an ordinance with the criminal penalty, and that was the hang-up for my department, was that put us citizens in a really bad situation if a red flag law passed after this amendment that had a criminal ordinance, and the citizen handed a gun to a deputy for safekeeping, they're both technically committing a crime, that puts us at odds with the state. So this is a resolution without the criminal penalties of support. I think you've all had a chance to weigh in on it, see it.
Well, we appreciate the work you've done on that. And I think, I don't even know if we dare say anything about this morning's problem, but, that's one thing to be able to have somebody come basically tell you they're taking your stuff and they're able to protect themselves. So it was a big deal. And I think this is a big deal that we continue to support this problem. So,
Yeah, we appreciate your work on it.
anybody else?
No, I read through it and I like the language. Personally, it would be nice if it could be a little bit more forceful and we could put some teeth behind it, but where it would put us at odds, I agree. I think we need to send the message of how we feel, but not put you in a vulnerable situation, so.
Okay. All right.
You got anything?
I'd entertain a motion then. Do we need a motion on that?
Yeah. I'll make a motion that we approve the Second Amendment Support Resolution 2002.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Appreciate all your work. Okay, looks like we're up to Bill.
The first item I have, been contacted by the School Trust Institutional Lands on, they're wanting to do a trade, a UTTR exchange with the federal government on several school state sections out through West Box Elder County around the Newfoundland Mountains, also the Hog Up area. We have 8 road claims that are involved in this, and what they're wanting to do is draw up some permanent easements on these roadways through these sections before we do the trade with the federal government. We've looked at them. I've also sent them on to GIS, and Brock and his guys have looked at them and also compared them to some of our transportation studies that we've done recently. And I think we're ready to go forward and ask the School Trust Lands to go ahead and draft those easements and get them prepared.
Bill, and I think me and Jeff Scott have been in this the longest to be able to know what was been going on with the Uter, and we were actually going to lose Sitla property in this transfer, but because of Commissioner Scott and myself, we actually gained Sitla ground. They actually traded it into, so they could actually have Compass Minerals come in and trade Sitla ground around, so we actually got more Sitla ground out of this thing if it continues to go through, and Senator Hatch started this how long ago, Scott?
Oh, geez, almost 6 years.
6+ years ago.
Yeah, I think we ended up picking up an extra 18,
Yeah. We were
close to
gonna lose,
18,000 acres.
we were gonna lose 9, and we ended up with picking up that many more,
Yeah.
so,
So,
Definitely been a good thing.
yeah.
okay, cool. So they're just in the process of reviewing these right now, and then once they come back,
Then we'll,
Correct.
Then
They
we'll
just
just
want
deal
an
with it.
official declaration from us saying, yes,
Okay.
proceed with these road claims. This is what we're looking at. And from what we can tell, it looks to be appropriate. We might actually go out and also GPS a couple of questions we had, but overall, it looks good to at least have them start drafting the easements at this point.
great. Okay,
Yeah, I would say move forward,
Great.
so.
The next item I have up is the Derek White turnaround easement. We have tabled this from the previous commission, and this time we were able to get a legal description of the turnaround area and draft that into the agreement. And for this, we're approximately getting a 50 by 100 area that we're going to gravel to get our 10-wheeler snowplow turned around at the end of 400 West over near the Beaver Dam cache line area. We've had a terrible time over the last few winters trying to get the 10-wheeler backed out of there and get turned around. Just not enough room, but this new owner came in and has been very willing to work with us. And on his end of it, he gets a good driveway approach into his property there next to his container and gets it snow plowed. So it's kind of a win-win for both parties.
yeah, we don't want anybody backing around.
no, that makes sense.
That was tabled before to get the description. I've got the agreement prepared, just waiting for the description. There were some changes to it that aren't in this one that you sent me this morning.
Yeah, we incorporated the legal description into
Yeah,
it.
and I've got a better one
you've
drafted
got
that we
one,
just need to
okay.
incorporate that description. I can do that.
Okay.
Because one of the issues was the ownership of the property is not in his name, it's in his LLC's name. And I had fixed that, and there's a couple other issues that we fixed.
Okay,
So all I
we
need is a
won't-
description.
We won't sign this, and
Right.
sign yours. Okay.
I just need the description, then I get over to you for signature.
Okay.
And you emailed me the description this morning, I think,
Correct.
right?
Do we need to,
We can approve it pending.
With
change
change.
the title of this where it's technically not, I mean, Derek White is probably the authorized agent for the LLC. Does it make any difference?
I fixed all that in the one that I,
Just reference the resolution number and we should be good.
well, when you
I
say.
think we're 20-03, or the contract number.
Contract number, okay, you had me thrown there for, ask me that one more time.
Where it's technically an LLC and it's not an individual and it's listed as Derek White, just reference contract number 2003 and we should be okay because he's the authorized signer for
Right.
his,
Right.
okay. All right, I'd make a motion that we approve contract number 20-03 for the turnaround easement.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
My last item is, I'm coming to you today to ask for load restrictions on vehicles above 10,000 pounds on the Long Divide Road as a seasonal restriction during the time the frost is coming out of the gravel roadway in that area. The area that we're wanting to restrict as far as keeping semis off of that roadway would be from Long Divide Road is 3,600 west on the mapping system, or sorry, 18,000 north is Long Divide. But the starting area would be 3,600 west and then going 4.5 miles east to the Cache County line on that restriction. And we would just have it during the springtime until we get into possibly May, when it dries out enough that we want to take that restriction off.
So when you post this, will they be those signs that you can just fold so that they can stay up on an annual basis, and then we can just do a seasonal closure for the overweight or the higher weight trucks?
Very similar to that. We usually put it up on a system to where we can take it down but leave it in sight. It's very similar to what you're talking about.
Cool. Okay. Have you already spoken with Cache?
We have.
Cool.
And they are amenable to marking their side back to the nearest intersection. I think it's probably closer to 3 miles to the nearest intersection, and they're willing to put up a sign of that restriction also on their side.
Probably helps them as well.
Well, there's just no place to turn around once you make that. And we had problems 2 years ago with these people turning around, so.
Exactly.
In farmers' fields and stuff when they actually couldn't make it, and then the one guy that went off the side of the road and hit and couldn't get out, so it's a good thing, so.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Long Divide Road seasonal weight restrictions.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay. So back on that turnaround, Steve, then we'll just, whenever you have that document
I'll
ready
just
to.
insert the legal description and get over for signing.
Okay. All righty. Scott, what's up?
All right. Okay, so the subdivision we have today is the J-Dub Acres subdivision.
I love the name.
Yeah. This is up in the Bothwell area. It's a one-lot subdivision, 5.5 acres. It's located at 10275 west, 13600 north. It's been through the review process by all applicable departments and comes with a recommendation of approval.
Okay. I'd make a motion that we approve the J-Dub Acres subdivision.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
The next item I have is a request for payment. So this would be a reimbursement request from Perry City out of the local transportation corridor preservation fund. The specific project is CPF 17-03. This is the 1200 West North area in Perry. It was approved by the COG in March of 2017 and by the County Commission in May of 2017. So this project, if you're familiar with that area, the 1100 West where the new intersection is there, this is to cover the acquisition south of that new intersection. So the total requested is $337,972.06, and they've submitted all paperwork necessary to be entitled to that reimbursement.
Okay.
Do you know if they've already acquired that? Sounds like they have that.
They have.
They have.
Okay, good.
Yep, the acquisition's complete and all the paperwork has been submitted.
Okay, cool.
Good. Okay, I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Corridor Preservation Fund reimbursement approval for Perry City. Do you want me to say the amount?
Did you write it down or?
What?
337,972.06.
06, yeah.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Do you want to sign these now or after?
Sure, I can sign them now.
sign in.
And then stick around till 10 to going from the house to the center.
Supposed to meet a client that morning at 10.
I gotta have somebody there.
Stamp it after. So you can write your hand in it.
You know,
Yes, that would be good.
something in front of each.
So the presentation's at 7?
Well, I don't know what list they're on. They haven't set the agenda, so anywhere between 7 and 8. And then 4 times 10. That's what
Yeah.
the other one.
I might have a tough time being there.
Okay. That's Friday. It's Friday.
I'm trying to get everything done in the next 9 days. I'm failing miserably.
I'll just let you know.
Yes, yes I am. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, Mitch.
You didn't need to get dressed up for us, but you look nice.
That's right. That's why I'm dressed up.
Looks like you brought a familiar face. Hello, Stuart.
Yeah, Stuart Claysons and Mitch Zundel. Anyway, we are here to talk about the interlocal agreement between the Box Elder Redevelopment Agency and Box Elder County for both Project Rocket Solar and Project Steel Solar. These are the same. This is the same interlocal agreement that will be in the RDA for the county signatures. So I don't know if you have any questions or thoughts, but this allows the redevelopment agency to receive the tax increment off these two projects from the county's taxes portion of that. So.
Do you want to go over the Reader's Digest version? Because I've still got people that are really misunderstanding about what this does. We're not foregoing taxes. We're not letting less taxes. We're actually eventually going to get a lot more taxes from this ground. So.
Yeah, so, well, generally speaking, you've got two projects right now. They're both around 1,000 acres each. Right now, they're, what's the total? Do you remember, Stuart, on the total taxes that were?
I can go get my computer, but I did a breakdown on the projects, and what you're gonna total based on the present tax rate, I think one is like $29,000 that's gonna generate over 20 years at the present tax rate, and the other, I think, is like $39,000. So there's not a lot of activity over 20 years, and these incentives are gonna bring in almost $200 million of total investment on that acreage. And the fact that it's being captured as personal property taxes, taxing entities, you all are going to actually get to bring those dollars in, and it doesn't affect anyone's tax rate. It
Right.
comes into all the taxing entities. Mitch and Patrick Mullen from UAC presented at the school board last week, and they unanimously approved their interlocal. We're going to be at the Water Conservancy tonight. So and the other thing, I think one of the school board members hit the fact, it's not just the post-performance incentive. So if they don't make the investment, there is no incentive.
Right.
So, and they're going to pay their taxes, and they're going to get a portion of that back, but it's creating new revenue for all the taxing entities that otherwise wouldn't happen without this incentive. But then there's the other piece that one of the school board members picked up is you're going to have, when people drive out to the Golden Spike, they're going to go past a really cool solar project. And I think one of the district members said it was like the old meets the new. And that's also very exciting, just in terms of showing the diversification of the Box Elder economy. And I don't know how you quantify that, but I think it shows that you guys are, not only do you work with Nucor and Procter & Gamble and you can create jobs, but you're also kind of diversifying your energy base, and you're having other investment come in here. So I think you've got the financial benefit that you're not giving up anything. They make the investment, then they pay their taxes, and they get a portion of that back, and you're getting more than you'd already get. Like, for example, on the school district, in year one, they're like 1,000 times increasing their income.
Right, off of that project.
Off of that, like,
And
that's
I
across
think the other thing that people don't understand, that a year ago when they went in and made the changes in the RDAs, the personal property, if we didn't do this with the RDA, we would have not got any of this growth.
Yeah.
It would have went away.
And that was 2016. now Senator McKay, then Representative McKay, ran a bill called HB 25.
Right.
And that pulled personal property tax out. And these projects are, unlike Nucor's building or Procter and Gamble's building, that's real property. They're building buildings. This is a aggressively depreciating asset. Now, the other thing that I think no one really knows is what happens when it's fully depreciated. I think that the fact that you guys are getting basically a power plant, it's not a coal power plant, but this is 2,000 acres of energy production. Once it's in the ground, I think that it's not going to go anywhere because our consumption of power is not going to go down.
Right.
So
They would be able to potentially repurpose it, refurb the panels,
absolutely.
add additional life.
Yeah,
Right.
because technology, that's the great thing about the free market is technology will keep up, and if there's a way to reduce cost or create new value or be more efficient, and they're already here.
Right.
So it'll just be real easy to renegotiate the leasing and keep it going.
That's awesome. Okay, thank you. Do you want us to lump them in together?
Looks like we got two different agreements.
Yeah, so we probably ought to do them separate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd make a motion that we approve interlocal agreement 20-09 between the RDA and the county for Rocket Solar.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion that we approve the interlocal agreement 20-10 between Box Elder Redevelopment Agency and Box Elder County project for steel solar.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
You
your
want
work.
us to
We-
stick
yeah,
around
stay
for the
there.
RDA?
Yes, we probably should do that. So we'll take a recess and move into our RDA.
While we're in recess, Commissioners, I just want to commend you on running a very efficient meeting. You guys are.
See? He gave me grief because the first meeting,
12:19.
he said the first meeting I did went like 2.5 hours. He gave me grief over that, so.
I get to sit in a lot of these, and I'm like, I was telling Mitch, I was like, you guys run a tight ship up here in northern Utah. You don't mess around in Box Elder.
I got things to do.
Jesse and Marla, Chrissy, Lori.
It's those guys.
Well, they get the agendas to us well in advance. I've already read through it several times, so yeah.
Lucky.
Anyway,
Give
Attaboy.
Thank
credit,
you.
give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. We're on recess, so it's not on the record.
Right.
yeah. Can we get that in the minutes, Marla?
You bet
Please.
Thank you.
that it's all because of me.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, I agree with you.
All right, we ready to go then?
Yep.
Okay. Need to approve the minutes from the June 25th, 2019 and February 5th, 2020.
See if I can.
Those?
I think he's still looking.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and I'll see if I can pull this up.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for, where was it?
June 25th,
June
2019,
25th,
2019.
20,
and February 5th, 2020.
and February 5th, 2020.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, a second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
That threw me there with that June. I'm like, we're that far behind?
We found one.
I know.
We found one. Oops.
Hey, look at that. We've got an agenda.
There you go.
Okay. Good deal. Sorry, I got a little ahead of the computer. Okay.
So the next A through H are all, again, the same agreements between the Box Elder Redevelopment Agency, Box Elder County Redevelopment Agency, and all the taxing entities. So we've got A is between Box Elder Redevelopment Agency and Box Elder County. B is between Box Elder Redevelopment Agency and Box Elder County, sorry. First one's for Rocket Solar, the second one's for Steel Solar. Then C is between the redevelopment agency and the mosquito abatement for Rocket Solar and Steel Solar on C and D. And then E and F are between Box Elder Redevelopment Agency and the school district for Rocket Solar and Steel Solar. And then the G and H are between the RDA and Conservancy District and for Rocket Solar and Steel Solar. So
I hope we can say so moved. Or do you want to
Yeah, how,
attempt doing that again, Commissioner Scott?
Well, since Marla's already in the minutes for making sure that we're doing things properly, and do we need an individual motion, would you say, on each one of these, where there are different projects and different entities?
Probably,
That's what I was thinking.
because they're each different.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
all right, I'd entertain a motion then.
You ready?
Get started.
I would make a motion that we approve the CRA interlocal agreement project area between Box Elder County Redevelopment Agency and Box Elder County for Project Rocket Solar.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion that we approve.
They are numbered, if you guys want to, if that's easier.
Oh, yeah.
That would
Oh,
be way easier. Yeah.
bless you, Mike.
Now that we've already got the background, that would be,
So it starts with, yeah, if you just go flip.
Good, I'm on number 2. I'm on B. I make a motion that we approve.
okay, so that was RDA contract 20-01 that I just referenced. So are you making a motion for 2002, Commissioner Summers?
Yes, please.
Okay. I would second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye. I'd make a motion that we approve RDA contract 20-03.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, or Commissioner Scott, a second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
You waiting for me? I'll make a
I can
motion
just do
to
them all.
approve
I've got 'em
2004.
here. I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion that we approve RDA contract number 20-05.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion that we approve contract 2006.
Second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I clarify?
No.
Because it is RDA contract
Yes.
for the minutes. Or
Yep.
Okay.
I'd make a motion that we approve RDA contract 20-07.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion we approve the RDA contract 2008.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I am glad that the chair has changed.
The good news is, Stuart Clayson for the record, the good news is we only have one more thing to do as the RDA
on this project.
on this project. Well, 2 more on this project for each.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get to sign all them?
Yep. I guess I just gotta make sure I find the right spot here. I certainly don't want to sign at Steve's spot.
It's a Hatfield, it doesn't matter.
This one is,
Commission meeting.
Wow.
Just one signature.
so those are the two that we did.
You know, we talked about this when we did that, saying, you know how much more paperwork this is gonna be to, you can see who won.
That used to be two.
It's kind of a tongue twister though. You guys both have names that start with S. Trying to keep track of.
When I'm in charge, if I get to be in charge.
Who made the motion?
Jeff and Jeff. Commissioner Jeff.
Because we're resources.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. You get it right every time.
I thought one was Jeff, and the other Jeffrey or something.
He's only got 2 more if you wanna give us an update on the
Yeah.
last one.
You can go ahead and get started on
Next.
the last item.
So agenda item I is the amendment to an MOU, a memorandum of understanding between Box Elder Redevelopment Agency and ATK Launch Systems Incorporated, which is Northrop Grumman out west. We're using their property for their landing strip to do our drone testing area that we've been working on for a number of years now, 5 years plus. And this MOU, or this amendment to it, is just, the only thing it changes is the effective date to, extends it out to January 21st, 2025. So it just adds 5 more years to what we've had before.
And from my understanding, they've still left some of the resurfacing contract in their budget for this year, so hopefully Northrop Grumman's going to step up.
I've heard that too, that Northrop might actually resurface the whole runway. We'll see.
Yeah, could
Yeah,
have.
that was my
That'd be awesome.
That was my next question, is if they had a timetable on that, so that's cool.
I haven't heard a timetable per
You can
se.
ask them on the 27th.
Yeah. We'll ask
Yeah,
Andy.
true.
Yeah, I have a feeling a bunch of people will be out there, so.
All right. Well, I'd entertain a motion on the amendment.
I'd make a motion that we approve amendment number 1 to the MOU between ATK Launch Systems. Is it still ATK Launch Systems, or do we need to reference Northrop Grumman?
You can reference both, but it's ATK Launch Systems is Incorporated is their
Division.
name that they're
Okay.
using that.
And Box Elder County RDA.
contract 20.
Yeah. RDA contract number 20-09.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you have a copy of that contract, right?
There's so many blue things floating around up here, I'm sure. Somewhere.
For the emotion.
I'd make a motion that we close our RDA meeting.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Scott, second by Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's go back into our commission meeting. And,
Do you have any closed session?
yeah, do you have anything?
You guys good?
Jennifer doesn't have anything?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Guess I probably ought to second that.
Is that quick enough for you?
Yeah.
I have a motion by Commissioner Summers, second by Commissioner Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Wow, thanks.
Thanks, gentlemen.